Hi, Paul Hefty here with the Triangle O football system. I want to go over our sprint pass series. One key teaching point here, and one of the reasons I like to install this early and at the same time as your stretch zone or outside zone, is that's exactly what the O-line uses for their pass protection. They're just going to stay on the line of scrimmage. So it's just an Aussie pro call. Coaching point here, you want to pick the concept that fits your personnel best. The reason we like to do this is it will move the QB's launch point, so it's a great blitz beater. It's great versus any coverages you'll see with the route combinations, and then it's great in the red zone. So let's take a look. Okay, let's do a quick overview of our 911 quick sprint pass series. We call it 911 because you're going to see you can signal it really easy and quickly. So great for 2 minutes. And then we use a minor league baseball theme. So you can see also they're all going to start with S's, so it correlates with sprint pass with the verbal. First one is a Saints call, and it's a sprint tilt concept. It's just a classic smash with a little variation. Signal here real simple is we'll just do this out of a 2x2 set ace, and then you just take your hand and you fan it side to side but pointing upwards to the Saints. Smokies is a sprint comeback, and this is a read concept. It's great against any coverage. Been using this since I was a player back in the 80s. Again, directional ace signal, and then the hand fanning down for smoke, side to side. Last one is a spikes call, and this is just a sprint snag concept. Best out of a 3x1, but you'll see you can do it out of a 2x2 also. Now we're just going to take that directional trip signal, which is pointer, pinky, and thumb, and just put it right on the side of the head like spikes on an antler. So again, teaching point, all the sprint passes start with an S, and their minor league team nicknames as the theme. The back will always align towards the call for sprint protection. So again, always towards the call. The exception you'll see at the end, there are these dash sprint concepts. And then we can use a laser or razor type protection where we have the B back and free release, and the H will then be in the protection. We'll get into those next. All right, here's your pass protection then. Again, we're just going to go ahead and call one of the three pass plays, Saints, Smokies, Spikes, but then we add a second term for the direction of the pass pro. If we want to just go regular 6-man with the back in the protection and the H-back free releasing, that's our Lisa Ray. Again, as we said, the back's going to line towards the call except for the dash concepts at the end. We can do a switch where the B is a free releaser and the H stays in the block. That's our laser razor call. And then last, we can actually go into a 5-man protection where both the H and the back free release, and that would be our Lolo and Robo. Okay, the first one is Saints. Example here is Saints Ray going to the right. So the back is going to line towards the call to the right and is going to be in the protection. Key point here with the B-back's protection, the key is for him to get up to the line of scrimmage as fast as possible and outside the offensive tackle's hip wherever he is at. His eyes are going to be on that Sam backer, but he's going to go ahead and help secure that defensive end if the Sam does not come. So get up to the line of scrimmage and secure the edge is the key. The quarterback here also, it's not a real rollout action. The reason we call it sprint is he's just going to pivot towards the direction he's going, a 3/4 pivot, and then he's going to take controlled, what I call baby steps, to just move the launch point and work his way towards the receivers. The receivers here on the tilt concept, you can see it's like a smash high-low on the corner, but what we're going to do is tilt it towards the sideline where the Z receiver is going to run 8 yards depth, but he's also going to go to a point 4 yards outside his initial alignment. So we go ahead, tilt it towards the sideline. He'll do a hitch inside, but then right away pivot and slide back outside. The A is going to tilt, same thing, And at that 8-yard mark, he's going to go ahead and take off and get over top of the corner looking over the outside shoulder. The H and the X run classic over routes, getting over the backers and over the formation so they get back to the sight of the quarterback. Just find open grass is the key here. So again, it's a slide route, but we're going to tilt it all so we run at angles towards the sideline. Great, simple smash concept. Smokies then is very similar, but we're going to add a read component. Again, it's Smokies raise the example, so back is going to block. Key again is to get up on the line of scrimmage. The Z now is going to run an 8-yard comeback, meaning he's going to break at 8 yards, but then break outside and work back to 6 yards. This he's going to take off straight up field like he's running a takeoff or go route. A is going to go now straight up field to 8 yards, and then he's going to read that cornerback's depth. If the corner is back, then he will also do a comeback. If the corner is up, taking away the comeback by the Z, then he will take off and replace him with a corner route. So that's his read. The quarterback is going to read the exact same thing as the A receiver, reading that corner. Key point here, if he can get the ball to the Z at all on the comeback, he just does that all day until the corner starts to bite, and then we can throw the corner route behind him by the A receiver. So this becomes a high-low possibility with a corner by the A, but it also can be at outside in with a double comeback. Smokey's Ray. Spikes then is your classic sprint snag. I love this, especially in the red zone, critical downs, really difficult to defend. You can see here, we're going to do this first one from a 3-by-1 formation. Again, it's a Spikes Ray call. So the back is going to be in the block. The H is going to go ahead and release here to the front side. The Z first runs a 3 steps in, what I call a V corner, a quick corner, and then tries to get over top of that cornerback, the cat. The A is going to run a shadow route, meaning he's going to run to the front toes and hip of the Sam backer, usually the first defender that is near the H receiver. When he gets there, he's going to do a reverse basketball pivot, put his hands in the air, and then slide outside. The key is he wants to make sure we don't do an illegal pick, but we get that basketball pivot with our hands up. And then if the Sam tries to fight over top or underneath, let him go, but then stay behind him, sliding with your shoulders square as the number 3 receiver. The H is going to run a hot arrow. So he wants to take off 2 steps upfield and then take off as straight as an arrow, trying to get to a depth of 5 yards, but the key is to get to the flats and beat that Sam backer outside. X again is running the over route, finding open grass. Real simple. Quarterback on his pivot is going to read that corner for the Z route. If the corner bites inside, then go ahead and take that quick corner with the Z receiver. If he doesn't completely bite, then go right to reading that flats defender, the Sam in this case, looking for the H on the arrow. If the Sam covers that and runs with him, then you're going to see the A will be open right behind him. Last, you become the number 4 receiver in a sense that if everybody drops off, the quarterback then will turn this into a run-pass option with the X receiver coming over in open grass as a drop-off. Great play out of 3-by-1. Good to use this where you use this squeeze formation adjustment where everybody comes inside so that they're about 1 yard from each other and condense and compress the defense also. You can run it out of 2-by-2, and this is where we go to a Spikes Robo where we're going to go 5-man protection. The back then is going to free release. So he will replace the H on the hot arrow, and the H, since he's on the backside, goes back to his sprint rule of over routes, finding open grass. Read progression is exactly the same. Quarterback reads the cat for the Z on the quick corner. If he's not wide open, then we're just going to go right to looking for the B in the flats, A on the shadow, to a controlled run option pass, and then H and X on the overroutes as dump offs. The last ones here are a little more advanced, but if you really have a great dual threat quarterback, this is a classic dash concept using it. This is something Penn State used a couple years ago with a lot of success. Again, now this is the exception where the back line's away from the call, because we're going to go ahead and do a now drop by the quarterback like a pocket, and he's going to do his Mickey read on the backside with the X and the A reading the Mike. If the Mike does not blitz, then he'll go into his regular sprint out action to the call side. As soon as the ball is snapped, the B is going to go ahead and run across the formation, running the arrow route. And so now we'll get our smash concept, high-low, 1-2 with the V corner to the arrow, reading the cat on the controlled sprint out after the pocket setup. Hence the dash concept. You can do it out of 3x1, and then what happens here is this allows you to get the H to stay in and block to secure the edge. Again, now you're going to get a sprint snag all three to that side, but first the quarterback's going to pivot into his pocket setup, looking for the X on the glance, reading the Mike for a blitz. The Mike doesn't blitz, then he goes into the controlled sprint out, running our normal spikes, 1, 2, 3, high to outside to inside read.